on the person. How important is it to you? Can you live with or without it? Can you afford not to have it? We all have different inner conservation bases on it. Is having it everything? Giving a 5 to 7 minute speech titled, Is Having It Everything, is Rodney Simmons. This is from the Pathway Leadership Development Project, number 3, Connecting with Your Audience. Please help me welcome Rodney Simmons. Is having it everything?
So imagine, you've just inherited $50 million from a family member you never knew you had. Is having money everything? Now, of course, a second ago, if I asked you that same question, the answer probably would be different. But now that you're $50 million richer, you might have a different perspective on money, because you have it. So this is what I call, I've been doing a 5-point series called Are You Living Your Best Life? And major key number 4 to living your best life is your job, your hustle, how you make your money, your business. Number 3 was R&R, rest and relaxation. Number 2 was time management. And number 1 was personal growth. So as I've been thinking about this whole idea in my mind about money and what that means to me and my job and what I do, you know, it really brought me back to when I was a kid. So when I was a kid, you know, I grew up little small town, everybody knew everybody, and there was really not a lot of wealth or anything. But I remember a certain instance where I was always told to not do things for money. Has anybody ever told you that? Have you been raised that way? To not do things for money? But when I came of age, I was told to get off your ass and go make some money. Which really brought forth a confusion conversation. You know, I thought about that first job and what I did. I worked at Hardee's. You know, I used to cook chicken. Man, listen, I was the chicken king. People would come in, they say, hey, that guy cooked the chicken. They say, all right, we good. But, you know, that was just the start of me and these different things that I've tried and I've done, and I realized that it's having money everything. And the reason why I'm having this conversation with myself is because I find myself doing a lot of things based on what it will produce for myself. And I realized that as I was at a point where I owned a multi-million-dollar business, I was the most unhappy at that point versus being over here, working this job, making a couple bucks. And I said, well, what is causing me to think that I need to have it all? And what I'm realizing is it's the experiences. Like Erica said, you know, we have these experiences that either traumatizes us, that hinders us, or grow us. So I came up with just some simple reminders of why it's important to enjoy what you do. Number 1, You don't owe anybody anything. You only owe yourself to do what you want to do. Number 2, having gratitude, appreciation for the process, to understand, yes, this is what I'm doing now, and I might not even be enjoying what I'm doing now, but at least I have something that I'm doing. And I was thinking about something that I was watching the other day on YouTube. One of my favorite basketball players, Steph Curry. You ever heard of him?
Yes.
And he said something that really struck me to be very interesting. So he's doing this interview. He says, the guy asked him a question about getting paid. Here it is, he's the MVP of the league. He's the #1 scorer on the team, but he's the 5th highest paid person on the team. And they said, well, how did you feel about that? And he said, yes, I wasn't typically being paid for what my value is. But what I realized is, at the time, I signed the best deal for me. And what others make or do doesn't affect me. I can't count someone else's money. I can't count someone else's position. And then he said that what I have is enough to take care of what I want to take care of. And that's my family. So I ask you today, in what you do, is having the money every day? That's a conversation that we all have at some point, at some time in our lives. So as I close out, I want you to think about something. Is it, or is it not, about the Benjamins? Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you. May I have 1 minute on the clock, please? Please jot down some notes for Rodney about his speech.